I used to love a game called Rec Room. It's primarily a VR social game where you can do pretty much anything you want. I started playing in 2018, back when it was full of vibrancy and creativity. But nowadays, it seems like we've lost the very foundation of what Rec Room used to be. It seemingly doesn't have any of the personality or character it used to have. But where did this downfall begin? Well, today I'd like to share my thoughts on why Rec Room isn't so much of a great game anymore, and I want to list why I think it's doing so poorly. In other words, I want to tell you why Rec Room sucks nowadays. For me, personally, I don't think Rec Room can even compare to what it used to be. While good things do have to end, it just seems like Rec Room is sabotaging itself. First off, modern Rec Room is a laggy, buggy mess. I used to crash maybe once or twice every 2 months back in 2020, but in 2025, however, I've counted over 263 total crashes from January to November. That's at least 2 crashes every time I try to play the game. The amount of times I crashed this year alone is just strictly inexcusable, considering the fact that I barely even used to crash. Even my friends on other platforms have reported crashing 3 times more than they used to. Rec Room is a very simple and very plain looking game, and there is no reason I should be crashing this much. I don't understand what's making me crash on Rec Room. They need to optimize this game. It's terrible right now. Games like Rec Room shouldn't be crashing more than better looking games like Helldivers. It doesn't make sense to me. They need to optimize this game. I promise you Rec Room isn't complex enough to crash us this amount of times. They're just not optimizing the game. On a very different note, Rec Room has a very serious inflation issue. In August of 2025, I had about 30,000 tokens saved up. I was a creator, so I was slowly making some tokens in the background. It took a very long time, maybe about 9 to 10 months, but I managed to save up that amount of tokens. However, by the end of August, I had only 500 tokens left. It took so long to save, but only so little time to spend. I didn't even purchase a lot of items, maybe about 4 to 5 different cosmetics, and somehow I ran out of tokens. If this doesn't prove that Rec Room's items are overpriced, I don't know what will. I'd also like to mention that items players used to get for free when starting the game are now no longer free for new players. Things like the blazers, players used to get these for free, and now you have to spend a lot of money on them. This is the literal definition of greed, as there's no logical reason for why these items should now cost money. When I started Rec Room, there were 0 in-game purchases you could make. You couldn't even buy tokens. Nowadays, they're everywhere. I understand why they have to do this from a financial view, you have to make money somehow, but there's a certain point of view where it just seems greedy. The amount of in-game purchases and bundles available now is just unfunny. Well, even with all of the in-game purchases Rec Room has available, they are somehow still losing money. This is from their blog post describing how they had to lay off half of their active staff because they were losing too much money. In summary, Rec Room was losing too much money in an attempt to pursue their aspirations and goals, resulting in all of these massive layoffs. I think the situation right here should be an eye-opener for Rec Room. It should be obvious at this point what they're doing right now in the game is clearly not working for them. The final thing I want to talk about kind of leads into this, the removal of PSVR support. As of December 1st, Rec Room officially removed the ability to play the game on PSVR. Let me tell you why this is the worst decision they have ever made. First off, if they're actively losing money as the blog post suggested, making the game less available overall and kicking players off of the game is not a step in the right direction. Second off, there was no really good reason to cut PSVR support. PSVR users still make up a large portion of the community. I guarantee the extra effort is worth keeping a decently large amount of players on their game, and if they had to cut a platform to save money, why not cut Nintendo Switch or Apple Vision Pro? I haven't seen a single Switch player or Apple Vision Pro player ever since they were added to the game. I don't understand why they could just cut those instead. It seems like such a stupid decision to cut PSVR support. If they wanted to save on money, making the game less available overall is not the way to go. I have so many friends who played Rec Room on PSVR, and Rec Room's player count is sure to go down with this decision. Well, Rec Room used to have the motto, "There's room for everyone," but apparently there's not enough room for those like me who have been here supporting the game for ages. Rec Room used to just be a very fun game when I started. It has since then lost every bit of personality it once had. It's just sad to see this game move so far away from what it used to be, what it once was. Before I go, I want to say that this video is definitely not meant to be taken seriously. It's just a few things kind of meshed together that I thought ruined Rec Room for me. But yeah, this is not meant to be taken seriously in the slightest. Alright, well, with that out of the way, you have yourself a great day. Those were the reasons why I don't really like Rec Room.